Hey, thanks for stopping by the Big Bear Homestead. Today we want to share with you our mini rabbitry how we do it over the winter time. And then in the spring and summer we'll come back with another video on how we're going to be doing our rabbits in the spring and summertime where they can be on more grass. But basically we have here in the wintertime in our little rabbit hutch is we have 2 by 2 by 2 cages. They're made out of 1/2 inch by 1 inch hardware cloth and inch by 1.5 inch hardware cloth. Now, we use your standardized feeders here. There's the flip top lids and you put the feed in and they can eat from that. I really do not like our watering system that we have right now in place. Probably by next winter I'm hoping to have it changed to an automatic watering system where I suspend 5 or a 35-gallon container from the roof and then I run the water to the individual rabbits in their cages. The problem that I'm continuing to have is that, if you can see, watch out boy, the water is constantly dripping from these containers. No matter how much I clean the gaskets and the mechanism that's in this long tube right here, they always seem to leak. The ball down there just never does. It never makes a good solid enough seal to stop it. No matter if it's these big fancy blue ones or the little $1.99 ones that you can throw a 2-liter bottle on, it's still dripping. This one's not as bad, but it still drips. And so then that means twice a day we got to be in here checking these guys' water, and it's just really frustrating, especially when they don't drink that much and you got water all over the place. We use a standardized rabbit pellet in the wintertime to feed them, and then we'll give them some treats every now and then of stuff from the garden: cabbage, mustard greens, kale, all your leafy greens we'll give to them every now and then. Now, as you can see, it's not really working all that well for us, but we got a 1/4 inch piece of paneling underneath each cage that we wrapped in a black trash bag. The theory behind that is that when they urinated and defecated, it was supposed to slide back, slide down, and then get onto our mulch. Well, I don't know if I just don't have the pitch up high enough, or from the water leaking that their feces and stuff is starting to stick to the trash bag. But we got to come in here about every 2 weeks, which we're due right now, but I wanted to do this video before we cleaned it out to show you guys one of the things that we have changed that a lot of people probably don't do. And we picked this up from one of Joel Salatin's book. I think it was his You Can Farm book. The feces and the urine from the rabbits is very high in nitrogen. You get that ammonia smell from it. So to be able to wipe that out is you give it a deep bedding underneath them, so that way it can combine with our wood chips here. And that's very high in carbon, which helps eliminate the smell, the high ammonia smell. And then what we'll do is every 2 weeks we come in here and we'll clean this out, and then we have a spot in our pasture that's extremely weak, and we'll mix it up, dump it out there on that spot, and let it be to help replenish that soil. We do it for our rabbits and with our chicks that we hatch and with our quail. And that eliminates the odors here in this enclosed area, plus it also helps us rebuild our soil. Now, the rabbits that we have are your New Zealand whites. We have them all separated. We've labeled each cage, the bucks, where the bucks go, and then where our does go. We need to thin out our bucks a little bit. We got too many boys versus the girls. We've already culled 2, and let me tell you, we culled 2 at one time because this was going to be our first time eating this breed of rabbit. The other breeds that we've always eaten, whether it's wild rabbit or the California or mutt rabbit, did not have a lot of meat on it. One rabbit fed my entire family of 5. The backstrap on that bad boy was about that long and about that thick. My wife made rabbit nuggets, and it fed all of us, and we had some leftovers. So these guys, for anybody trying to be self-sufficient, a prepper, survivalist, whatever you're calling yourself these days, the New Zealand white, pound for pound, is probably the best rabbit out there, in my opinion, just because of how much meat they pack on these tiny little frames. We breed our rabbits late in the winter time, and then they'll be delivering late winter, early spring, and to keep us going. And then we cull the babies as they get to a certain size, and then we'll put them in the freezer and be able to store them if I can keep my little girls from eating them all up at one time. Different issues that you may have with rabbits is breeding. Sometimes a doe doesn't want to breed, and you'll have to reach in there and raise her backside up as the male does his business. They're pretty much a clean animal as long as you have a sanitation spot for them to go. They can get ear mites. One of mine, this doe right here, she has it in her other ear. There is a natural spray. I think it's vinegar, a mineral oil, and some water, and you spray it in there and it'll get rid of the mites. And I'd have to look that up, but you could Google that or go onto one of the Backyard Meat Rabbit group on Facebook and ask. Somebody would be able to help you out on that. And it's feed and water every day, and they're pretty low maintenance. In my opinion, anybody that's trying to begin in small farming or self-sufficient farming, their very first livestock animal that they would probably need to purchase is a rabbit. And the reason being is they're extremely low maintenance. They're very forgiving. You can make some simple mistakes and it not kill the animal. You got, especially with the New Zealand whites, you'll have a good return with the meat. That way you can get comfortable and decide whether or not this lifestyle is right for you, and then you can baby step into chickens and then larger livestock, pigs, cows, sheep, whatever you want to do if you've got the room for. Rabbits are also great for the urban homesteader. You can set up a rabbitry like ours. You can see we've got 7 rabbits in here in a very small space. I think this shed is maybe 12 foot by 6 foot if it's lucky, and we've got 7 rabbits in here with no problem. You can have a decent sized rabbitry in your 2-car garage and nobody would ever know. So this is our rabbitry. These are our bunnies. This is another one of the meat sources that we have here on the homestead. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something from this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via our webpage, www.bigbearhomestead.com, or you can look us up on Facebook at Big Bear Homestead. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope we helped. Have a nice day.